never seen a team where everybody paid the price to win.
Jarrett Stoll wins the series for the Kings.
They didn't stop from the first whistle to the last whistle.
The Kings have swept the St. Louis Blues.
Tail of the tape for our team is you never quit.
Dustin Penner has sent the Kings to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Everyone had their own story, and I think unless you're in that locker room, you don't know that story.
The long wait is over. After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown.
And it's special winning a Stanley Cup, but you know what's really special about this one is we're the first ones to do it.
The Los Angeles Kings have won the Stanley Cup.
In 1967, the National Hockey League doubled in size from 6 to 12 teams. At the NHL's expansion draft, the Kings were born. The new club in LA struggled early on, but made stars of goaltender Rogie Vachon and a triple threat that Hollywood had never seen before.
Well, the Triple Crown line was fun to watch.
I don't think there was a bigger thrill than to see Marcel Dion come down the wing with speed.
At the height of the Triple Crown line, the All-Star game was in Los Angeles.
Your Triple Crown line, number 18, Dave Taylor. Number 11, Charlie Simmer. And number 16, Marcel Dion.
As magical a night as it was in the Forum, Kings fans hadn't seen anything yet. During the 1982 Smythe Division semifinal, LA mounted a miraculous comeback against the Edmonton Oilers.
Game 3 of the first game in LA, they're down 5-0 at the end of 2 periods. Kings didn't have a chance as far as everyone was concerned.
To Jay Wells, Oilers out. Wells shooting, he scored! Hardy with a drive and a save by George Smith, scored!
And you could sense it in the building, the crowd feeling there may be a chance here.
To the blue line to Hardy. He shoots, save, rebound, score!
Tied it with 5 seconds left, and there was bedlam in the Forum.
I got an opportunity in overtime, closed my eyes and let it go.
On the draw, shot by Evans, he scores! Oh! Oh! Look at him!
While the miracle on Manchester was stunning, the most shocking exchange between the clubs occurred in August of 1988.
There comes a time when
Nobody would have thought that Wayne Gretzky would ever be traded. So when he was traded, we were obviously very shocked.
Promised mess, I wouldn't do this.
I don't think anybody could have foreseen the impact that he would have had on hockey in general by moving to Los Angeles.
Thank everyone for coming, and I hope to see you all at a lot of hockey games this season. Thank you very much.
Right away, the whole talk was hockey in Los Angeles. It was then everybody was anticipating opening night.
Number 99, Wayne Gretzky.
One misconception is that I came to LA to help grow the sport of hockey. I really didn't think that when I got traded. My thought in my mind was, I'm going to LA and I want to win a Stanley Cup.
It really wasn't until the start of the playoffs in '93 that you felt that the Kings had a chance to do something special.
We had a brand new coach, Barry Melrose. He was amazing. And with his leadership, he really guided us.
Toronto Maple Leafs in the Western Finals was just phenomenal. To be part of that series, I think one of the greatest series that's ever been played.
Wayne Gretzky wins it for Los Angeles.
We went to Game 7, and Wayne had the game of his life.
Gretzky scores. Wayne Gretzky, his third of this game. The Kings are going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
The Kings faced off against the Montreal Canadiens in the '93 final. After winning the first game in Montreal, LA carried a lead deep into the third period of Game 2 when a controversial call changed the series forever.
Minute and some left, they call the stick.
It's Marty McSorley's stick, I believe.
So Luke comes over to our bench and I says, Luke, is it illegal? And he starts laughing. they score, tie it up, and that's no problem. You know, we'll beat them in overtime, and then right off overtime, the stick changed the game because we would have won that game. There's no doubt about it.
As much as it should be rewarding that you're in the finals, it's still by far the greatest disappointment I've ever had in hockey.
I know they thought, we'll be back again. We'll be back next year. We'll be back the year after. And it doesn't always work out that way, and it didn't for the Kings.
When you're
Go.com.
After the Kings' run in 1993, the team would win only one playoff series in the next 18 years, but a change in philosophy would spark a new era for the club.
You go back, where did it begin? When the Kings started holding on to their future instead of trading it away.
The Los Angeles Kings selection, Dustin Brown.
There's a lot of players that were drafted by the Kings and grew up in the Kings organization, and when you have guys like that, that's the start of something special.
Although the core of the team was in place, the Kings had holes to fill in the summer of 2011.
Ryan Smith left, Hanzus left, and Ponikarovsky we lost. Those changed really the complexion of the hockey club.
We felt like it was time to move this team along to another level. And I think the addition of Mike Richards, he's a proven winner, and we just felt like it was a type of bold move that we had to make.
One of the big reasons why I came here, we had a lot of success, so I know that coming here, with him, that something good could be possible.
When you saw that we were getting a guy like Mike Richards, I think everyone on the team was excited, and it kind of helped in our mentality of, we're all working towards the Stanley Cup, and that was kind of like a big statement, bringing a guy like that in.
With Richards and free agent Simone Gagne in the fold, the club journeyed to Europe to open their season.
It brought us together, that's for sure. We added a couple of new guys in the offseason, and we had a little time to bond.
They get to hang out together, have dinners together, play a couple games together in an environment where you're not going home to your family, you're going home to your teammates, which is really important.
They score! Jack Johnson! The Kings have won their season opener.
The last 3 years, every team that's been over there, the one team won the cup. So we're just kind of hoping to keep that thing alive.
When it started out, there were people who thought the Kings will be a Stanley Cup contender. And then things didn't go very well early in the season.
All the pieces are there. The season starts, and nobody's scoring any goals.
Everybody knew we were struggling. Everybody wanted to get out of the slump pretty quick. When you're trying too hard, it kind of backfires on you.
They weren't scoring, and it got to a point where I think we all felt something was going to be done.
The most interesting moment of the season to me was when the Kings ended up, unfortunately, firing their coach, Terry Murray.
It was a real hard decision. We just felt like at the time that things weren't going the way that we envisioned, and our group wasn't playing the type of hockey that we expected.
Yesterday, as you know, the Kings announced that veteran National Hockey League head coach Daryl Sutter is the new head coach of the Kings.
Daryl came in and had a pretty honest meeting right away, and I think that kind of settled things for a lot of guys.
I wanted to change was just style of play. I just felt the team was too defensive or too played on their heels all the time, and they had to be a little bit more aggressive, and they had to be a little bit more assertive, and you had to let them use their skill sets a little bit more.
The transition was not easy. With the loss of Gagne to a mid-season concussion, Sutter now had to find a way to fill the offensive void.
We went down, took a look at the team in Manchester, and saw a couple of big young players in King and Nolan, and when they came up, it changed the identity of the team.
We just brought a lot of excitement, a lot of energy to the team.
Man, he just ran him over.
Then after the recalls of King and Nolan, the trade for Jeff Carter.
The benefits of having him was obviously his connection with Mike Richards. They played together in Philadelphia. They're still friends off the ice.
It's no secret that we're pretty close and played together for a long time. We know each other real well, so I think that coming over here made things a lot easier.
Obviously, have known him for a while. We were pretty shocked that things worked out the way they did.
How much will Jeff Carter help? In addition to goals, they desperately need wins. They have fallen to 10th in the West, and they are out of the playoff picture right now.
With the trade of former third overall pick Jack Johnson for Jeff Carter, it appeared that no one in the Kings lineup was safe.
I think Dustin Brown was affected by the trade rumors very deeply.
I mean, it was right around the deadline. All the rumors were going around, and it was probably about 5 minutes before I got dressed before that game, and Tim Lywicki came into me and just pulled me aside. He said, "Don't worry about the rumors and just go play."
Brown moves in, he shoots, he scores! Dustin Brown! Onside and on goal, Brown shoots, scores! Hat-trick goal for Dustin Brown!
At the time, I kind of just downplayed it like another game, but now thinking back and looking at it, it might have been a turning point for me, but also as a team. Because after that, we went on a pretty good tear.
When your backs are against the wall and it's time to put up, time to salvage the season.
Ice like Kopitar scores.
The winds a shot, score!
And scores 5-0 LA.
A shutout for Jonathan Quick.
Here's Brown, he goes to shoot, score!
Saved by Quick.
Shoots and scores! And LA's got the equalizer, but centering Penner scores!
The late season surge saw the Kings finish with the 8th and final seed in the Western Conference, a position from which no team has ever won the Stanley Cup.
To purchase the show you're watching, Los Angeles Kings 2012 Stanley Cup champions on Warner Home Video, visit shop.nhl.com or wherever Blu-ray and DVDs are sold.
In the first round, Los Angeles met the regular season champions, the Vancouver Canucks.
With the way the division was, going back and forth, you weren't quite sure where we were going to finish. But we just felt that if we got in, that we had a chance to knock off anybody.
These two teams met a couple of years ago in the playoffs, and I think it was an opportunity now for the Kings to use it as a measuring stick to see how much that they improved.
A lot of these core players have not had a lot of playoff experience. So a lot of us are wondering, can these players be difference makers in the postseason?
Go through the middle here.
Being the President's Trophy winner and how far they went last year, the pressure is on them, really.
I didn't know we would beat them, but I knew we'd play our best hockey.
Game 1 at Rogers Arena was even at 2 goals apiece until late in the third period, when an ill-fated clearing attempt was stopped at the blue line by Mike Richards.
There's a giveaway. Richards takes it from Edler to the front of the net. Carter to Penner, he scores!
Penner captured the lead, and Dustin Brown's empty netter put the game out of reach, dealing the Canucks a harsh home ice loss.
Once they won Game 1 in Vancouver, you talk to every player in that Kings team and they'll tell you that was the moment where they realized they could do some damage.
Los Angeles Kings looking for a 2-0 series lead. Vancouver Canuck fans are waiting to exhale. It's Game 2.
Puts it back into the battle. Down goes boot. Up goes an arm. Willie Mitchell gets a penalty for holding.
With Willie Mitchell in the box, the potent Canucks power play had a chance to open the scoring in Game 2. But once again, Vancouver would pay for a miscue in their own zone.
First period winding down, turnover, Edler to the right circle, Kopitar shifting in on goal, Deeks, check, Brown with it, shoots, and they score, Dustin Brown.
The confidence of the Kings penalty kill is they're just going. They got their head down and they're going.
Kessler's past the blue line, pass Hamhuis, picked up, Brown a breakaway. Short-handed, in on goal, Brown, Deeks, scores!
Dustin Brown's second shorthanded goal of the game put the Kings up, while Jonathan Quick did the rest.
Jonathan Quick stole that one, and to me, this was a sign that he was ready, like a lot of his young teammates in the core of that team, ready to take that next step in the playoffs.
And the President's Trophy winners are in big trouble.
We knew we could be competitive. We knew we could do some good things, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're up 2-0. You think, well, let's really jump on these guys.
A change in scenery also brought a change in the lineup for the Vancouver Canucks.
Goal tonight.
Corey Smart.
Alan Benyo just felt that they needed a change, and Schneider was a guy that they could go to throughout the season.
Game number 3 is underway from Los Angeles.
Scoreless after 1, it was the captain who, once again, made his presence known.
Jeez, I hurt and I was watching.
Henrik's bowled over. Henrik's hurt.
Sometimes when Dustin hits, you can just see the power.
Henrik struggling to get up in front of the Vancouver bench. He's being helped by his teammates leaning over the boards.
It's a momentum changer in both directions. It gives us momentum and it really deflates them, especially considering that it was right in front of their bench is probably even more demoralizing.
That was a heavy, heavy hit by Dustin Brown.
He's our captain, and he's playing hard for us. He was, I'd say, the best player in that series.
Lines up on the right wing boards. Williams a shot save. Rebound. Score! Dustin Brown!
He was the person that was going to set the tone every game, and he set the tone, boy.
He really showed the identity of our hockey team there, playing physical, scored a lot of big goals.
Dustin Brown, the third period goal, the only goal in the game, and the Kings are one win away from sweeping the number 1 seed in the West.
It's the killer instinct of the Kings versus the survival instinct of the Canucks. Game 4.
They'd had some issues with injuries with the Sedin. One of the Sedin brothers there was out and came back and was really an emotional boost for them.
Points. What a great pass. Daniel Hamhuis shoots. What a save by Quick. Loose puck, score.
He came back and obviously gave them a big lift and made it much more challenging for us.
The President's Trophy winners are not going to go quietly.
Game 4, we had an opportunity. We felt like we just didn't jump on them early enough, and they took advantage because they're a good team. And Game 5, I think we were a little more focused.
The first round of the playoffs is nearing its crescendo, and if you've been watching the games the last couple of days, the intensity's been exhilarating. Daniel Sedin looking in front, centers, Henrik scores!
In that game, I'm not sure what period they scored, but again, I remember Quickie making a save on one of the Sedins in the last 2 minutes of the second.
Daniel Sedin in alone, stopped by Quick.
We went in the locker room and said, Quickie made a save, now we got to score a goal.
Doughty back in, fakes, hangs on, drops the puck in front, Richardson scores! Brad Richardson from Drew Doughty, and it's a tie game in the third period, 1-1.
I think everyone on the bench knew when we scored that goal, we were winning that game.
Hey, well, we got this game. We have this game.
Well, there's sweaty palms, nervous pacing, and a lot of people in British Columbia gripping the arms of their chairs.
Martinez up to Richardson, steers it in deep. Hamhuis picks it up. Hamhuis races out to center ice. Had it knocked off his stick by Lewis.
For Trevor Lewis to stay on that puck on Dan Hamhuis and stay on him, and hound him. And you knew when Jarrett got that puck, we knew something good was going to happen.
Picked up by the Kings, Stoll to the net, shoots, scores! Jarrett Stoll wins the series for the Kings!
I was definitely shooting that one. I probably could have passed it over to Kinger. He was wide open too, but I'm just glad it went in.
Obviously, we were happy to move on to the next round, but ultimately the job wasn't done yet.
Remember when you didn't have to spend a lot in semifinal? LA met the Western Conference's second seed.
We drew St. Louis in the second round. We thought it'd be a very long series.
Holy jumping, what a play by TJ Oshie.
Looking into the mirror almost against St. Louis, we felt it was a team that was well coached, plays really hard, competes, and we were going to need everything.
Game 1 of this Western Conference semifinal series between the St. Louis Blues and the Los Angeles Kings.
Best home ice record in the NHL. And we knew we were going into Lions Den.
Steen is hurrying back, got him right there, and Quick somehow
Tipped it out of there. What a stop. Right off the bat on the initial thrust here.
We were flat, they were flying, and that game could have been 3-4-0 before it even started.
Knocked down Berglund with a chance and Quick sliding across.
They peppered us for that first 10 minutes of the game.
The energy level really high for the St. Louis Blues.
3 or 4 point-blank saves, he kept us in it.
Here was Steen, beats one man, and a shot was stopped by Quick, got a piece of it.
You got Backus and Oshie and Stewart and guys that all go to the net hard and can, jam pucks in and can tip pucks.
Oshie to Pietrangelo, goes to shoot, they score! It deflects in off an Alex Pietrangelo shot.
Quickie gave us that confidence to make that next step, and we just kind of settled ourselves and took over from there.
Penner with it. Penner in the corner, centering pass, shot, score!
Here is Brown with speed. He had a couple of big short-handed goals in the last round, and he sets one up here. As Matt Green followed up and hammered it home. picked up by Penner. Angles it off the far boards. It's rolling toward the open net. He scores!
And the Kings take game one here in St. Louis by a score of 3-1.
You know, after game one, it was something that we talked about, is having a better start, and you know, we came out and did that.
Penner gets it back, tries to cut out in front. The puck is loose. They score! Mike Richards, 31 seconds in, has given the Los Angeles Kings a 1-0 lead.
You know, you see the puck go in, and everybody's like, okay, you know, why don't we just keep it going that way?
Now a pass by Koliakovo, broken up. Brown with it. Brown centers in front. Kopitar in on goal. Shot, score!
That was a good thing for our team, not sitting back. And that first period was a statement period.
Carter plays it ahead. It comes back to him. He scores!
We came out. We scored early. We dominated the play. And in turn, we had a 4-0 lead after the first.
Found Williams to Kopitar, who scores!
What a play! What a play!
One team that is relentless on the attack right now and brimming with confidence. And you got another club that looks awfully fragile.
You know, even the start of the second period, they come and they score right off the hop, and then we come right back at them and score again. So, you know, there was some momentum swings, but then we were able to finish it off.
We didn't want to be satisfied with going on the road and just getting a split. We wanted to try and get them all.
LA Kings came into St. Louis. They didn't just steal home ice advantage. They ran with it, and they beat the Blues 2-0 heading into Game 3 out in LA.
Up 2-0, the Kings carried themselves with a level of confidence. Los Angeles set the tempo early with some aggressive play.
Try and get on the other team, try to get them off their game. We have a lot of physical guys.
And what a hit by Dustin Brown on the far side.
There's some big bodies on that line now with Carter and Penner, and Mike Richards playing in there too. He plays a real pretty game.
Here now Richards has dropped the gloves. That is Jamie Langenbrunner, number 15 for the Blues, and Mike Richards.
He was working hard on both ends of the ice, finishing his checks, laying those big bodies on guys, you know, scoring goals at big times.
Now Kopitar hands it off down low. Richards scores!
Yeah, I got a good bounce on that first goal, and things kind of just rolled from there.
Richards hits the late man Downey with a chance. He scores! Gordie Howe, hat trick for Mike Richards.
A 4-2 win here tonight over the Blues, and the Kings are up 3-0.
Playing well, we were playing at the top of our game, and we had a chance to close out a really good team. And in the playoffs, you don't want to give anyone any life.
We knew that if we came out with a real solid start and got to our game quickly, that we would have a chance to knock off St. Louis in 4 and not have to go back there.
Pass broken up in the slot, shot, score! Jordan Nolan!
We got some fortunate bounces in that game, and again, Brownie stepped up and is awesome.
Kopitar off to Brown on left wing. Brown into the zone. Brown to the circle. A shot. He scores! What a release by Dustin Brown.
Clinging to a 2-1 lead, the Kings turn to their rock. Vezina Trophy finalist Jonathan Quick.
You know he's going to be there. If you make a mistake, you tend to play your best hockey. So I think he added confidence to our whole group.
He has been strong in this game tonight.
If you do make that mistake and they're going to get a shot on goal, there's a good chance that Quickie's going to save it.
Shot, save, Quick. Quick save on a beauty right there. His best of the game to keep the score. 2-1 Kings.
Especially as a D-man, I know that there's quite a few times that he bailed me out this year.
He just never quits on a play. He is just a terrific athlete.
I'd like to think that I helped him out a little bit too.
Russell, a shot, block, rebound, chance. Oh, and Quick just before it got to the goal line.
Can you believe that didn't go in? What a save by Jonathan Quick.
The Kings have swept the St. Louis Blues. First time ever a number 8 seed in NHL history has taken out a number 1 seed and a number 2 seed.
purchase the show you're watching, Los Angeles Kings 2012 Stanley Cup champions on Warner Home Video. Visit shop.nhl.com or wherever Blu-ray and
In the Western Conference Final, Los Angeles met a familiar opponent, the Phoenix Coyotes.
Phoenix had beaten out the Kings for the Pacific Division title. They had been neck and neck a lot of the way.
We were a little bitterly disappointed that they ended up winning the division and we didn't, but quite frankly, they earned the right to do that.
They're real similar to St. Louis. They have a system that they play to a T. They play solid defense. They got great goaltending.
All right, come on. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Here, Quickie, come on. Get out.
First ever playoff match between these two teams. The number 3 seed Coyotes and the number 8 seed Kings.
Led by veteran captain Shane Doan, the Phoenix Coyotes were making their first conference final appearance thanks largely to the brilliant play of their goaltender, Mike Smith.
It's really important that right away we just wanted to make sure we got to Smith and got some goals on him, because when he's on his game, there's not a lot you could do.
Lost the puck, gets it back, it's bouncing. Now Kopitar with it, backhander, score!
Upstairs over the glove of Mike Smith.
Mike Smith is a guy that plays with a little bit with his heart on his sleeve.
Mike Smith gets involved.
He plays deep in the net, so when guys are making contact with him, usually they're pretty far, into the crease area, so he's got to protect that ground.
Keep getting in the net on him. Losing his mind, boys.
Well, Smith didn't hesitate. As soon as Williams came in and made contact there, Smith just got up and got right in his face, literally.
At the other end, Jonathan Quick had a rare miscue.
No doubt. There's no doubt in L.A.
Obviously, it's an embarrassing goal.
Derek Morris catching Quick by surprise.
Somebody buries one from the red line. That's obviously not the way you want to start the first period of the series.
Everyone's going to give up a bad goal. It's how you respond after that, because you feel like the whole world is just caving in on you. You feel like everybody's just watching you, and you feel puny.
I remember thinking to myself up in the press box, like, wait a minute. Is that the goal now that's going to take Jonathan Quick off his game? You know what it did? He turned around, took a sip of water, and went on to the next save.
Stay with it here, boys. Stay with it. Yeah. Keep pushing him here. Hit that guy. We've got here spinning constantly.
Could have a 2-on-1 here. Richardson, King. Richards, wait, he shoots, save, rebound, score!
Yeah, baby. Nice play.
The Coyotes, they know they are a bend but don't break team. They know they're a team that's going to hang on, hang around, and find a way at the end of games to win it. The Kings never took their foot off the gas pedal.
They're point off now ahead for Brown.
Go, Brown, you're in.
Brown into the zone quickly. Brown to the net with a shot. He scores!
Phoenix would try to get something going on a pushback. Just didn't happen. Here come the Kings again. Here come the Kings again.
Open net for King, he scores! Dwight King, second goal of the game!
6 consecutive road wins. Los Angeles wins the opener of this series 4-2.
Winning builds confidence. The more you win, the more confidence you have, maybe the more swagger. There have been teams in NHL history, Edmonton and some Montreal. They had that swagger that they'd walk into a building and know, we're better than you are, and we're going to win this series. I think the Kings have a little bit of that now.
With confidence blooming, one of LA's premier forwards rediscovered his scoring touch in Game 2.
The net center to Carter, who scores! Jeff Carter beats Mike Smith and has given the Kings a 2-0 lead.
Can't stop them all, Smith. Wait, Penn.
We're giving him a hard time about not having any of his goals really hit the back of the net. There were some soft ones that just found a way to get in.
Keep your eye on 77 in the high slot. Oh, it's just a flutter.
You need those lucky breaks to have success in the playoffs, and you think about how many good shots that he's made that didn't go in, so it was nice to get a couple lucky bounces.
Down by 2, emotion got the best of the Coyotes.
Get him a swimsuit, he's diving so much.
The LA Kings have done a great job of really being able to be the initiator in scrums, cause trouble, kind of smile about it, wait for a response.
Hey, what's Richardson's deal? Is he fight?
We're a ragtag bunch of misfits, and so is Phoenix, and that's how we played.
Yeah, he just asked me to fight. I was like, sure. What are you doing out here? It's too hard for you.
They don't like each other.
Just get out of here. You're going to get hurt.
That animosity has been around for a long time. It comes hand in hand with playing an opponent a lot, but it also comes hand in hand with the way Dustin Brown plays, with the way Shane Doan plays. They go through people. They don't shy away from any big hits, and that's why it's always on the border.
In the closing moments of the second period, Doan crossed that border.
Oh, you know what? I think they're tossing Shane Doan.
He got it. He got it. Like two.
Doan gets the 5-minute major, and he's out for the rest of the game.
With the Coyotes captain in the locker room, Jeff Carter and the Kings power play took over.
Here's Williams, waits, hands it off to Kopitar. Gets one man down, he scores!
Well done.
They got one, they got another one. We got a penalty. The Coyotes have come unhinged here.
Kopitar, a shot, tip save, score on the rebound, Jeff Carter.
Great shot there, boys.
The hat-trick goal for Jeff Carter. And Game 2 belongs to the Kings. Offensively led by Jeff Carter. Jonathan Quick, his second shutout of these playoffs.
And another one.
And the Kings win it 4-0 and are up 2-0 in this Western Conference Final.
Back in LA, the Kings once again sought a 3-0 series lead.
Boys, great start. Great start this game.
They're down 2 games. Their backs are up against the wall, and they came out very aggressive.
He's got Lanko coming over the line. Lanko shooting. He scores! Damon Lanko puts one through the legs of Jonathan Quick.
What a pass, Seattle.
The one thing that the Kings did not allow Phoenix to do was to be able to savor a lead at all.
Lead pass here, Kopitar behind everybody, to the backhand. He scores!
Going for the puck was Lewis, delayed penalty. Phoenix at the right circle. Quick shot, score! Dwight King with another goal!
What a shot!
Dwight King's goal was the deciding marker in what became LA's 8th straight win. In Game 4, Phoenix needed a boost to stave off elimination.
Captains lead in big moments.
He gets it for Whitney. Doan up from the backhand, he scores! Up under the bar, the captain Shane Doan on the power play.
That's why he's got the C. That's why he's regarded as a top player.
Face off one by Vermette. Quick shot, hit the post, or is it in?
The puck completely crosses the line. We have a good goal.
Yes, sir. We have a good goal.
Doan's 2 goals were all the Coyotes would need as Smith shut the door at the other end of the ice.
And the Coyotes have stayed alive for another game.
That's it. Every night we're big. Every night you're big. It's unreal.
So the Kings denied the opportunity for their second straight series sweep in these playoffs. Game 5 will be Tuesday in Arizona.
Let's go, Browns. Come on, Marty. Come on here. Let's go, Browns. Lead us, boys. Lead us, fellas. Let's go here, Red. Come on, Red.
The Phoenix Coyotes have new hope. Can they do it again today? Here's a good chance.
That's it, boys. Now that.
Drew Doughty's going to be called for a penalty.
Albert bought it a handle. He scores! Another power play goal for the Coyotes.
Phoenix is in front 1-0 in the first period. They're outplaying the Kings. They're outchancing them. They're on another power play with the lead, a chance to go up by 2 goals. And what happens?
Kopitar wins it cleanly back for a shot here that doesn't get through. Now Doughty will hammer one. Score! Another short-handed goal.
It was kind of back and forth. We'd get a goal, they'd get a goal.
He scores! He gets room to shoot it and scores. Onside, it's picked up by Penner. Backhand save, rebound, score! The LA Kings, for the first time in this game, have taken the lead.
And the Coyotes countered. Centering pass, score! Keith Yandel.
The second period was probably the most wide open we've seen in a Kings game in the playoffs.
And Yandel has tied the game at 3.
third period. Both teams are kind of shutting it down a little bit. It gets to overtime.
Going into overtime, it was a little nerve-wracking.
Now he's going to be called for interference.
The shot was on by Williams. Not been around the net. Wide open goal. And nobody could find it.
Kopitar rolls the ball. Extra move at the line. It's offside, and then Brown runs into him, and
Roosevelt hurt.
The big hit on Roosevelt, whether or not it should have been a penalty or not, is now history.
They let the hit distract them away from what was going on.
come on, man, slide there, Slab. Come on, big man.
Every shift you go out there, you're hoping that you'll be the shift that ends it. There was a face-up in the neutral zone, dropped to the cards, he threw a shot on net.
Here comes Carter, closing in, save, rebound out in front of Tampa Penner.
Ricky swung and missed, and I came and picked up the garbage.
Penner, a shot, and he scores! Dustin Penner has sent the Kings to the Stanley Cup Finals!
Let's go to the Stanley Cup!
Great season, man.
For me, the most enjoyment came out of seeing the elation on my teammates' faces. To help punch that ticket to the finals and know that we have a chance now.
It was a struggle for Dustin Penner. Since he joined the Kings, he could never find his place. And then he said, you know what? My teammates and the coaching staff helped me so much. And I think that was a turning point for Dustin.
To purchase the show you're watching, Los Angeles Kings 2012 Stanley Cup champions on Warner Home Video, visit shop.nhl.com or wherever Blu-ray and DVDs are sold.
The joint is jumping, sold out here in Newark for Game 1 of the 2012 Stanley Cup Final. The New Jersey Devils, 6th seed in the East, they have home ice advantage against the 8th seed, the sensational Los Angeles Kings.
This is an interesting final for so many reasons. Of course, Larry Robinson, assistant coach for the Devils, coached the Kings through some of their worst years, played for the Kings. Peter Harrell, Alexei Ponikarovsky of the Devils played for the Kings. And obviously the Kings chase Ilya Kovalchuk and Kovalchuk's decision to sign with the Devils. So there were a lot of threads between the two teams.
This is the first time that we have two American captains leading their teams into a Stanley Cup final. Zach Parise, born in Minneapolis for the Devils. Dustin Brown, native of Ithaca, New York for the Kings. Teammates on the U.S. Olympic team that got the silver in Vancouver. And Dustin Brown captains a team that has not lost away from home yet in this playoff year.
Kopitar between Dustin Brown and Justin Williams, and it will be Travis Zajac between Denis Zubras and Zach Parise, and the Stanley Cup final is underway.
I think for both teams, they feel that to be successful and to win the Stanley Cup, they have to get their forecheck going and play in the offensive zone and give their goaltender some protection.
Both teams want a forecheck, and I thought heading into the series that because of that, you're going to see a real fast, exciting pace of hockey, but it became almost a stalemate in Game 1.
We played 5 minutes in this game. There's been a total of 1 shot on goal, and that was by the LA Kings.
We wanted to slow those guys down. I think Jersey's a big, strong forechecking team, and the best way to combat that is to keep the puck in their end.
Our MO is do it in groups of 5, but a big part of the forecheck means that nobody's got the puck.
There's been a very good pace to this game. Both teams skating, getting the puck in deep, but the defense of both teams has been excellent.
In every game, you want to come out and establish your identity quickly. You want to be physical. You want to move the puck fast and just try to drive the pace of the game and push a lot of teams out.
After a 10-minute stalemate, the Kings got a surge from an unlikely source.
Nolan mashes into Green. Nolan got a quick trigger pull. Score! The Kings have struck first, and it's Fraser, and it's 1-0.
Scoring goals anytime is exciting, but in the Stanley Cup Finals, it's a little more exciting. And for me, they don't come along too often, so to get one, it felt good.
And for Colin Fraser, his first career playoff goal.
Nearing the end of the second period, the Kings' stifling defense had held the Devils scoreless. But New Jersey finally broke through thanks to their forecheck and a bit of luck.
Get it out of there. Got to get it out of there. Windows down.
Elliott, big one in front and reaching for that one and trying with Josephson. Another try by Voltaire. They score! Patrick Elliott, tie game.
Fire, boys. Next one here. Next one.
With only 22 combined shots on goal through 2 periods, the biggest stars on the ice, the goaltenders, had barely been tested. That all changed in period number 3.
On the feed for a shot. Hits off the body in front. Oh, right there with an open net. What Parise, and now it is across the line, but the official says no goal.
Off the wing, they've got Bain. It's set up for a drive by Carter. Rebound. Side of the net. Forced wide by Bain. My goodness. And a shot line down the stop by a sprawling Brodeur. And moving back in at Pinner. A shot stopped by Brodeur.
Here's Pucks over the drive, and the glove save by Quick with 28.8 seconds remaining.
2 seconds and 1. Going to take extra time. 60 minutes have been played.
The tight-checking defensive battle continued into overtime, with neither team giving an inch of breathing room. But the talent of the Kings created an opportunity.
It was a little battle where Brownie was coming up the wall, and he actually got knocked down, and then Drew just flipped it out of our zone, and I was kind of in the middle, and I saw Justin get the puck, and I just wanted to make sure, just in case something, happens, I wanted to be in the middle and being ready for the puck.
Now Williams hands it off. Kopitar in alone in the overtime. Scores! Andrei Kopitar!
Andrei Kopitar on a breakaway goal. 8 minutes and 13 seconds into overtime, and the Kings have won 9 straight on the road and open the Cup final with a 2-1 win.
It's nice to get it over with.
To purchase the show you're watching, Los Angeles Kings 2012 Stanley Cup champions on Warner Home Video, visit shop.nhl.com or wherever Blu-ray and DVDs are sold.
3 days after collecting their 9th straight road win, the Kings were back at the Rock, but focused more on winning the Cup than extending a streak.
I said to the media, I was like, the only time we ever think about our road record is when you guys bring it up. So we're trying to get 16 wins. We don't care how we get them.
We get kind of greedy. That's the way our team's, been through the whole playoffs, is we win the first one, and we want to get 2, because then we really put the pressure on.
They come out of the gate strong in these road games. They get a lead, and then they're able to set the tempo, and they feel really confident as a group, because with each successive road win, they're feeling a little bit better about themselves.
New Jersey shot out of the gate, setting the tempo in the first period of Game 2. Quick again thwarted the Devils' scorers until his team could grab the momentum.
He comes up with the saves, and then Drew Doughty takes the opportunity of a bad forecheck, and it's fun to watch a D just wheel it. Just go. Get up the ice.
Drew Doughty takes the shot, scores! Magic!
Drew Doughty, a great individual effort.
I was just trying to get down there, get in the zone, get a shot on net. You never think you're going to be able to go end-to-end and put the puck in the net, but it was the first time I've been able to do that in the NHL, and it's definitely a goal I always remember.
That first goal in Game 2, it was a heartbreaker for them. They had us on the ropes, and he just, individual effort, takes the puck up and scores. That gave us a big boost.
After Doughty's goal, the goaltenders locked in, with the 6-foot-wide net seemingly shrinking in size, and the chances of another goal shrinking as well.
Jonathan Quick looks on his game as he has since the beginning of the playoffs.
It was back and forth. The goalies were both making big saves.
Both guys were outstanding. Marty Brodeur came to play, and our guy did pretty good down at his end. And, it's one of those things. It's a game of bounces.
Bain with a shot. Tipped by Zupas, and a wonderful save by Quick. And another one.
I'm sure Quickie got a little extra motivation going up against Marty.
For sure, it's tough. 5-6 goalies in the history of the game. So therein lies a challenge for a young goaltender like Jonathan Quick. And you can see he was set out to meet the challenge.
As the game progressed, the physicality rose to a new level. New Jersey's relentless forecheck continued to battle down low, and after more than 35 minutes of play without a goal, the Devils finally got even.
We gotta make a play here. Steve Bernier. Sidlicki, quick shot.
.2:59 into the third period. The Devils have tied the game at 1.
It was a nice goal, nice tip, and at that point, you can't do anything about it.
If you're going to let one goal get you down, you probably don't deserve to win it. Let's get over it, move on, and go from there.
You don't want to give up goals, but we rebounded. We got out of the third tied.
And just like Game 1, Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final is headed for sudden death overtime.
We had the lead for most of the game, and our coach made sure that we stayed focused in the overtime intermission.
The one thing that was said was that I don't care if we have to be here all night, we're going to get this thing done.
Here we go, let's get one right here. Come on.
If the Devils and Marty Brodeur get the next goal, this series is even going back to LA. If it is the Kings that get it, of course, a commanding 2-0 lead.
Bouncing puck could be trouble. Hit it. Shoots and Brodeur made the save.
Once overtime started, I thought we really picked up our level of play, and guys, somebody's got a chance to be a hero.
With the way the teams were playing that night, you kind of knew the next goal was going to win it. And Jeff is a game breaker. That's what he is. That's what he was brought here for.
Hey, Pens, come on, right now. Let's get it. From center ice, Jeff Carter.
You're watching him roll up the wall. On the bench, I'm just saying to myself, drive the seam carts, drive the seam carts.
Go, 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 go!
Jeff Carter slides by Andy Green.
You're in that moment, that situation. You're not thinking anything but scoring that next goal.
Here's Carter throwing one and a sliding play across. And Brodeur saw it skitter by.
He tried to hit me backdoor initially. We stuck with it.
Carter again. Does a loop, takes the shot, scores! Jeff Carter gets the goal. The Los Angeles Kings have won again.
The goal that Carter scored was another great play by him. It's one of those shots only a 40-goal scorer could do.
See him score a goal like that, you're so excited for him. You're so fired up, and not to mention, you're 2-0, you're up going back home.
The Kings hang a perfect 10 on the Devils, their 10th straight road win here in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
After that game, we were feeling really good because we knew we hadn't played our best hockey yet, and we were up 2-0 in the series coming home.
Just wanted to follow you. Jeff Carter, acquired from Columbus to do just that, ends the game in overtime.
To purchase the show you're watching, Los Angeles Kings 2012 Stanley Cup champions on Warner Home Video, visit shop.nhl.com or wherever Blu-ray and DVDs are sold.
This Mother's Day, send her Pro Flowers.
The series shifted to Los Angeles, a city hosting its first Cup final game since Wayne Gretzky led the Kings there nearly 20 years earlier.
From downtown Los Angeles and Staples Center, tonight it's Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Los Angeles Kings and the New Jersey Devils.
These fans have dreams of 2 wins and the reality of a parade if they can get them. They are more than ready for this one.
As if the Kings needed more inspiration, Simone Gagne made a surprising return to the lineup after missing nearly 5 months due to a concussion.
Simone has played in so many important games in playoffs. Just his presence around the team and around the locker room, I think it's got a calming effect on everybody.
After scoring just twice in New Jersey, the Devils were looking to break out in the first period.
Point off with a giveaway. Parise shoots and quick stopped it. Kovalchuk got a stick up in his face, and there's a penalty coming up to the Kings. Here we go on the Devils' power play.
Here's Zidlinsky with it again. Fettig. Kovalchuk a shot and a save made by Quick. Now it's Henrique. Oh, he took a stick up high. A 5-on-3 for a minute. A penalty to Carter for 4.
Led by Jared Stoll, Los Angeles thrived on the penalty kill.
Anytime you have a 5-on-3, it's a big moment in the hockey game.
Hey, we gotta kill this, Mitch. Hey, come on.
And a shot, and that one pinballed off two Kings.
The guys that were out there, I think it was Stanley, Mitchie, and Greeny, they did a fantastic job.
Let me stay on Kovalchuk's side. Let me stay on Kovalchuk's side, okay?
Our communication out there, and obviously it's a 5-on-3, so you got to just do everything possible. It's inspirational for the guys who aren't killing, sitting on the bench.
Coming hot, coming hot.
How much guys were sacrificing to not let the puck get to Quickie.
And when the Devils did get through, Quick was up to the task.
10 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Elias dragging it a little bit, and then looks over the traffic side of the net. Oh! And that one did not go!
99% of the 5-on-3s in the playoffs you score on. To me, it was a turning point in the series.
The second period started fast and furious as both teams tried to seize the momentum.
And back in it comes for a shot. Oh, and a save made by Quick!
While the Devils had their chances, it would be the Kings' determination that would pay off first.
Dwight King with a check. Now King with a puck. In front of shot save. Rebound. Save is made. Brodeur on King. Score! Dwight King with a couple of chances. And then Trevor Lewis and Alec Martinez were crashing the net. And it comes after Quick makes a great stop on David Clarkson at the other end.
We knew that if we got that first one, that it was going to apply the pressure to the Devils. It's pretty elementary. We score one goal, the other team gets worried. Now we're down one, we don't get down two, and we just think the opposite.
Brown to Kopitar, and Kopitar out of his zone. To Williams on the right wing. Williams dropping it for the trailer. Brown to the net. Center shot. Score! Andrei Kopitar!
But watch the play by Justin Williams as he enters the far blue line. He cannot make a direct pass. What's he do? Right off the boards to Dustin Brown, and then Brown to Kopitar. No chance for Marty Brodeur.
Now taken by Richards. Delays, looks to the front. Plenty of people there. Penner jamming away. Score! It is 3-0.
Our players struggling pretty much for the whole season, and it finally started to click. It was the right time to step up to the plate.
Halfway through the power play, it is brought back ahead by Kopitar, nudged on now for Doughty. Gave it to Williams, crossover shot, save Brodeur, rebound, score! Watch the move by Justin Williams, right there around Mark Bain. Look where this puck goes. Stick side on Marty Brodeur.
An unbelievable run continues. 4-0. The Kings win Game 3. One win away from a Stanley Cup.
Game 4 was a very unique situation. A lot of guys hadn't been in a game where they could possibly lift the Stanley Cup after. There was a lot of emotion and excitement and pressure.
Personally, I don't think I got an ounce of sleep in my pregame nap.
You know, I could tell before the game, guys were just a little kind of out of sync.
Kings with a chance for something historic.
Los Angeles was ready to explode.
It was electric in the building, for sure. You could feel it. They were excited for the end of the game, and we just didn't start the game very well.
And the Stanley Cup final, Game 4 is underway.
From the start, the Devils played with the desperation of a team on the brink of elimination.
And a shot turned aside, and another shot turned aside. Diving in, it's Quick, he's got it. Still no shots on goal for the Kings in the last 14 and a half minutes.
We were trying to prepare the players that, hey, they're going to come out, they're going to push everything they've got, and we've got to respond.
And at the end of the first period, the Kings just about did.
The lights came on, but that puck didn't go in the net. And play continues. One time off the post.
Two post shots in this first period.
Obviously, we were up 3-0. We wanted to come out with some spunk, and coming out and hear a big clank. Sometimes you think, oh, this might not be our night.
2 great chances in the post may have saved the New Jersey Devils.
In the second, the Kings continued to surge.
The Kings are knocking on the door on that ship.
That's the halfway point of regulation time in Game 4.
Game still awaits its first goal.
Here goes Simon Gagne. Stopped by Berger.
Don't you feel the anxiousness in the building, too? Like the fans can't wait for that first goal.
And here's Stoll dipping the shoulder. Stoll in front on. He couldn't have it more. Down to the last seconds of a helter-skelter finish to the second. And the horn sounds to end the second period.
Even after a flurry of chances, the game remained scoreless. The pressure was mounting.
No tomorrow for the Devils if they lose.
Stanley Cup final Game 4 needs a hero. Who will it be?
Here comes Simon Gagne trying to get away. In front, Lewis. Can't bury it against Marty Brodeur.
LA and New Jersey matched chance for chance, desperately seeking the game's elusive first goal.
Salvador shot, put up, rebound, score! The Devils have gotten the first goal of the game.
For the first time all series, a staggering 250 minutes of play. New Jersey had a lead, but with LA on the power play, it wouldn't last long.
Richards across to Doughty, one-timer, score!
When Dewey scored to tie it up right away, I think it was a minute after Elias scored. That was one of the loudest I've heard Staples Center.
Doughty beats a screened Martin Brodeur, and the Kings come right back with a power play goal, and the game is tied at 1.
We tie it up, and now I'm like, okay, we have the momentum, the crowd. I'm like, we're going to score.
Game tied at 1. That's the halfway point of the third period.
The crowd was just going crazy because they thought we had the momentum there, and we were going to get the go-ahead goal.
4.5 minutes to go. Third period, 1-1 tie.
Clarkson got it back across. Enriquez, he scores!
You think you're going to win. You think you're going to be able to score here, and then he throws a shot like that and kind of kills all your emotion. All of a sudden, now it's 3 minutes left, and you're down a goal, and you're like, no, maybe we're not going to win it tonight.
2-1. Devils lead. Just trying to ruin the party in LA tonight.
Game 4 at home, I think we got a little carried away.
1 minute to go, regulation time.
It's human nature. Everybody starts texting you. You start, reading the newspaper and putting the cart before the horse.
Empty net. Here's scores.
Maybe the guys were celebrating ahead of time.
There'll be no cup party in Los Angeles tonight.
It creeps into your thoughts. It creeps into the way you think. And I think it certainly crept into the way we played.
And the Devils have won this one by a score of 3-1.
We just didn't have enough. If it was going to be 4-game sweep, if it was easy, everyone would do it. And we knew New Jersey was going to come out with their best game.
That's it. That's the game. Great job, Marty.
Do you find it ironic that the only losses you've had in the playoffs so far have been in Game 4?
It is what it is. We got to forget about this one and, take the negatives and positives and get ready for Game 5.
Now.
As the teams headed back to New Jersey, the Devils had a renewed sense of confidence. And even though the Game 4 loss had shaken them, LA felt like the cup was still theirs for the taking.
Going into Game 5, I think guys were much more calm. Game 4, that night, all you're thinking about is, man, we just lost that game, like a chance to win the Stanley Cup. And you wake up the next morning, you realize you're still 3-1 in the series, and you have the stranglehold still. It's in our hands to make it happen.
We knew we had to be ready to go. We knew they were going to come out flying.
Come on, boys!
Their crowd would be fired up to try and get back in the series.
But everybody felt confident. We'll just go to Jersey and we're going to win in Jersey then.
And that confidence showed early as the Kings were relentless in the Devil's zone, testing the legendary Martin Brodeur time and time again.
Along now comes Brown, right in front, diving poke check by Brodeur, and the cutter, a wraparound stop by Brodeur, another chance. Doughty led it back, right from the bench, and a shot by Nolan to stop. Rebound poke, and it may have gone off the post.
Great continuous action here. Straight up the middle comes Jared Stoll on Salvador. Takes the shot. Big rebound. Header for Nurse. Stop that two. Intercept, and it's fed back onto Williams and moves on. And shoots one. And the score with the shot to go on the Kings penalty kill, which has been remarkable in the playoffs. And perfect in this series. But off the back of the goal. The series for Parise. First goal on the power play in this series for the New Jersey Devils, and the first goal of the game has won every game.
Zach Parise's goal was the lone tally in the first, all but nullifying what was a period dominated by Los Angeles. A point that was not lost on the Kings.
You know, it's kind of a downer because everybody's doing the right thing, and sometimes the puck just doesn't bounce your way.
You can't be too scared after one goal in a hockey game, but you know Marty Brodeur is down there in the other, and he's not going to let you score. For them to score, it's kind of a bad feeling, but, you know, we have a lot of skill up front, so we need to get another one.
If I'm in the LA room, I'm saying, hey, don't change a thing, right? It was an LA period. So keep the wave going, line after line.
You got the extra effort here for a goal. Come on! Come on, White! You score one, you win the game!
And the Kings get to it now. Here's Justin Williams. Enters the zone. High slot. Lets it go. Scores! Justin Williams, who hit a post in the first, makes no mistake here. And the LA Kings have tied this game at 1.
What a play by Justin Williams. The New Jersey Devil defense backs off. Too much time and space. And he just rips us by Marty Brodeur.
Justin Williams' goal tied it for the Kings, who now had the lead on their minds. But Brodeur had other plans, stopping everything they threw his way. Then, in a blink of an eye, the scales tilted back in the Devils' favor.
Got back to Ponikarovsky, then Salvador. Shoots one. He scores!
The Devils have regained the lead here in Game 5.
That was the Devils' best shift of the game.
Push it here, boys. Push it here.
Fueled by unflinching determination and the knowledge that the cup was in the house, the Kings mounted one last surge against Martin Brodeur.
Now he fakes the drive going down Parise. Then to the back again. Martinez a shot. Take White. Rebound. And that was sprawling past Brodeur. Went to the corner. Martinez across. Drive. Blocked up high and out of play.
They smother you. They don't give you a lot of chances, same as we don't. And, you know, all we tried to do, we tried to create chances, we tried to get more shots, and, you know, the puck just didn't win that night.
And it's going to take at least 6.
The Devils with a 2-1 victory as they beat the Kings and keep their Stanley Cup playoff hopes alive.
Adversity will hit you at any time, and we had a pretty good run of obviously winning on the road, winning series pretty quickly.
We kept telling everybody it's, you know, anything worth fighting for is going to be hard to get. You know, it's not going to come easily.
You know, obviously it's disappointing, but, you know, in the playoffs like this with the quick turnaround, you can't dwell on things too much. You got to have a short memory, and, you know, we just wanted to come back, regroup in LA, and, you know, finish the job off at home.
To purchase the show you're watching, Los Angeles Kings 2012 Stanley Cup champions on Warner Home Video, visit shop.nhl.com or wherever Blu-ray and DVD.
It's your Game 6 programs, yeah? Go Kings, go! Go Kings, go! Go Kings! We're gonna win the Stanley Cup!
Yeah. The Kings up 3-2, a win tonight, and they win a Stanley Cup championship.
For the first time in all playoffs, we lost 2 games in a row.
We gave them a little bit of life. We really didn't want to go back for Game 7.
There was a lot more tension from the fans and even from inside the locker room.
I was pacing around before the game and just wondering if I was going to say something.
Justin Williams closed the door and kind of gathered everybody around.
I just told everyone how much they meant to me, that I didn't want anyone to have any regrets about the game, and I wanted to remember each one of them as champions.
I think his speech really made us have that good start.
Toss out all the stats. It's Game 6 of the Cup final.
Which team will get its way at the start?
We just wanted to create some chances off the get-go, get the crowd involved. Forwards were flying, big bodies, physical.
Comes Dustin Brown, he got a hit.
Kings were coming.
The Kopitar's taken down.
The Kings with some great opportunities early.
Well, Joe, you can sense the desperation on the part of both teams when they have a chance. And now behind the net, Bernier hits Scuderi, who is down on the ice.
Probably a play you do 200 to 300 times a year.
Bernier's going to get a penalty for the hit down low.
We needed him back there, so I was hoping he wasn't too hurt.
A 5-minute boarding penalty to Steve Bernier, and he's been thrown out of the game.
To see Scuds take that hit and bounce right back up, and I think it inspired.
It was just ironic. Trouble scoring all year long. Our power plays not very good.
Touch pass to Doughty. Doughty shot. Tip. Score! Dustin Brown! And the Kings score early on the major power play.
Bernie Nichols came onto our team, and we always talked about the power play, and he's like, doesn't matter. Just got to score the power play goals when they count most.
Power play continues. Crowd thundering. Brown out in front. Shot. Two goals on two consecutive shots. Still 2 minutes to go with the penalty. Kings look for a third power play goal.
Doughty to King, left wing, bulls his way down low to the net. King couldn't get a shot. Loose puck, score! Trevor Lewis!
I guess it was a great play by Scuds to get split open like that.
I know he was probably in there getting stitches, listening to the horn go off.
You know, every guy in that room in the intermission went over to him and gave him a pat.
To hear the guys, scoring at will, and especially on the power play, was great for everybody.
Here's great news for the LA Kings is that Rob Scuderi is back on the ice.
They're unbelievably electrified by this crowd. They're playing well.
Here's a chance off for Carter. Score! Jeff Carter makes it 4-0.
Devils need something good to happen in a hurry.
You learn from your mistakes throughout your career, and a lot of us have had a big lead before and let it slip away.
From his knees, got it to Talinder for a blast, deflected into Quick, and he's got it. And a big pile up, and Carter on top of it there.
Take him. He got it. Quickie.
Face off comes to Sikora. Backhand shot, save, rebound chance, score! The Devils got one here late in the second period.
Where are we, boys?
They do have guys on their team that could turn a 4-1 game into a 4-3 game with it, minutes, and all of a sudden it's you're not as comfortable. We knew we were 20 minutes away from winning. We're up. We could be better though. We need to have a better third period if we think we're going to win this.
A loud crowd as the Kings trying to get their first Stanley Cup in 45 years of operation. The fans want it. The hockey team does too.
I've never seen a team where everybody paid the price to win. It's incredible. They kind of taught us a lesson that, man, you really do win as a team. Every night, everyone was on, and that's why we had so many heroes.
They were as determined as I've ever seen a group of individuals, and they didn't stop from the first whistle to the last whistle.
Tail of the tape for our team is you never quit. You never stop doing the things that got you to where you are now.
Daryl was all over us on the bench in the third period, up and down the bench.
Mitch, you move the puck or Dewey or whatever. Like he rides us pretty good.
King tripped up, penalty. King feeds it in front, empty net shot. Lewis scores! Can you start to taste it right now?
When we scored the empty netter, Trevor Lewis and the guys were all jumping up and down the bench, and Colin Fraser hit me over the head with his stick.
I didn't even know I did it, but I was just going so crazy that my stick came off and hit him in the head.
So what I remember most is I told him to calm down.
Daryl, about a minute left, came down, he tapped me on the shoulder, he kind of hit me in the gut there, and he goes, now you celebrate.
the kids and us came out, and we were all jumping around, and guys started crying and laughing and hugging and kissing.
It's like when you're upstairs with your brothers and sisters on Christmas morning and you haven't gone downstairs yet.
Puck behind the Kings net, centered by Parise. The long wait is over. After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. The Los Angeles Kings have won the Stanley Cup.
Money worth the wait, eh?
Congrats, buddy.
We've been to a lot of struggles this year, and for that, I just think every single guy who is in there, deserved that.
The winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy is Jonathan Quick.
Looking at some of the names that were there before you, to be part of that list is something you never expect. But at the same time, it doesn't compare to the big guy.
It's been a long road for not only me in this organization, but this organization as a whole. I mean, it's special winning a Stanley Cup, but what's really special about this one is we're the first ones to do it.
So many things go through your head, all the training, all the injury, all the surgery you had to go through, and you sacrifice in your life for being a hockey player.
Everyone had their own story, whether it's an older player not winning a cup for a while, whether it's a couple guys who were great friends and lost in the finals and had that opportunity now. We know those two. Seeing each one of those guys hold it up over their head and knowing what motivated them on a personal level, just feels so good to see that.
You play hard for your teammates, and you ultimately love your teammates. We probably aren't going to be all together next year, but we're going to remember each other, and we're going to have that bond of winning, because that never gets lost.